through 3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, we're entering the after show portion. We're still, at least I am still, at the Gun Rights Policy Conference and joined by my good friend Dan Zelenka. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
And then we got Jim and Tom in the studio back in Ohio. Hi, guys. Woo-hoo.
Hello.
Oh, so, all right, so you guys over there had to listen to us yammering about the GRPC, and it's kind of one of those, after a while you're thinking, okay, we get it. You know, it's cool. You guys are doing stuff. But it's I don't know, I'm just kind of curious from your standpoint, Jim and Tom, what your reaction is to this whole thing.
I think it's kind of cool that you've got folks that are competitive yet not competitive at all. One of our guests was discussing that about how it's not a competition, it's complementary. Just the sounding board aspect and the networking aspect's tremendous.
It really is, and I asked the question yesterday during the luncheon. I said, if somebody here needs some help, is there anybody here who would help them? It's like all the hands went up.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan, it's like, is there anybody you walked up to here who you started a conversation with who wasn't willing to talk with you?
It didn't matter who they were. It didn't matter if they were a radio personality or someone who had a television show or whatever. If you walked up to them and talked to them, introduce yourself, you had their attention, and they would sit there and talk to you.
Everybody here is all in.
Yeah, these people are here because they believe in freedom and they believe in gun rights.
They spent money to come here. They made the effort, took the time, and they're here. Now, I will say, Jim, you also will occasionally hear conversations about particular guns and shooting and other things, because there's that, right?
Well, so, there's always that.
Now, nobody here likes lever actions, though. Let you know.
I'll stay home next year.
Except for people like Dan and me, So,
there you go.
It burns propellant. I like it.
Does it fling a bullet? I'm in.
Yeah, just listening to all these people today, I found it really encouraging to find out how much is actually being done, because we don't hear about that.
That's an excellent point. You're sitting at home, you do kind of get a beat down feeling. It's like, oh man, it's like all the negatives and the media's against me and the politicians and the Beto O'Rourke's and the Pelosi's, and you come here and it's not just that you find out that there are people working on it. It's that you come here and you find out people are succeeding. They're actually getting things done on every level you can imagine. I mean, it just
that'll never be covered in the legacy media.
No, it won't. Which is, I guess, one of the reasons why I say you either have to come here and hear it or watch it online, because they're streaming it all now, which is a really good deal. And because they've recorded it, it's all going to be available. And Dan, I was interested in that when you got here and you went and sat down, it was like somebody had duct taped you into the chair. You sat through everything, man.
When I go for CLE, a lot of times, I either have, my phone and I'm playing, or I'm doing solitaire.
You have to be there.
I have to be there, right.
In the seat, but you're not mentally there.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. A lot of times that happens. And in this, from bell to bell, it was all interesting. And the other part is that there are so many different perspectives that you get to hear. You get to hear from a lot of different people. And the commonality is, like I said, freedom and gun rights, and they're shooters, but they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're,
truck drivers, they're everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Literally everything. And it's awesome to see how big the community is, because it is a huge community. There are 100 million gun owners.
Yeah, and it's not just the NRA.
Oh, no.
It isn't just the NRA.
Somebody made the point today that 5% of gun owners are members of the NRA, okay?
Right.
Which is almost nothing.
That's terrific.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. Some will never join, but I guess one of the takeaways is you don't have to. And we don't have to depend upon them.
Right.
It's good. I think, and you and I have worked with NRA, ILA especially, on state stuff. And they have been really good at times. Really good.
when you have a good state liaison from the NRA, they're awesome.
Yes.
I mean, they make things happen in the state capitals.
Yeah, smart. They know how to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that people don't talk to about the NRA very much is the Friends of the NRA. I used to run the state junior shooting program.
Right.
The NRA, the Friends of the NRA, over the years actually gave us grants, almost $90,000. We were able to allow juniors to shoot completely for free. And they had their match fees paid for. They had their ammunition paid for. And I'm talking about like Black Hills match ammunition.
Yeah, good expensive stuff.
Yeah, they had national match AR-15s. They had on-shoot small bore guns.
Holy cow.
They had air guns. We would supply a 4-H club with 20 air guns, top of the line Sporter air guns.
Right.
NRA picked up the tab. So we were able to do some awesome stuff. Like I was telling you earlier, one of our juniors ultimately shot in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, that's NRA support. And people never hear about that.
No, that's an excellent point. Once again, just isn't getting covered. So, it's an amazing place. I know we've said that a lot so far. So, I know what I want to talk about. Colt Firearms. This story. And Jim and Tom, first thing you said when you came in the studio today was, so what's the deal with the Colt Firearms deal? So, Tom, you start off with basically, were you being told by the media?
First thing I heard was just the announcement. Colt Firearms is discontinuing AR-15 availability for civilian use. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I started hearing from people on Facebook, yeah, well, they were so damn expensive anyway. Their sales weren't good enough to keep making them.
Well, but the media was portraying it as though it was some kind of political deal, and they're getting out of the whole...
They're caving due to pressure.
That headline, that's the first thing that you think of when you see that headline.
No,
and it's
exactly
crafted that way.
Right. Now, Dan, you've been known to own an AR-15 or two.
May be able to find one laying around the house somewhere.
Shooting them in national matches.
And that. And never a Colt, okay?
Over a 20-year plus period.
My first two AR-15s were Colts.
Okay.
I bought the first one in 1978. And the second one probably in the 80s.
Okay.
And I still have them, okay? And I look at those as kind of collectible. But they were the only game in town at the time, okay? They still had the patent on the AR-15. What happened after the 1994 gun ban was Colt's patent expired, and a lot of companies started making not just AR-15 style guns, but also accessories.
Right.
And they took the platform to a level today that it is the most amazing rifle, and people just don't understand how amazing it is. And you could buy for less money than you would pay for a Colt. You could buy a higher quality gun. Okay.
I think about people like Randy Luth, who started DPMS Panther Arms, started by making parts and ended up by making really good rifles.
Sure. And even beyond like DPMS, Bushmaster, and those kind of things, which are kind of sort of industry standard sort of stuff, they have a lot of the smaller manufacturers. And to give a couple of them plugs, Standard Defense, Sons of Liberty Gun Works, LaRue,
making some and people, if you don't know, you don't understand, out of the box, these rifles shoot. I mean, they're accurate.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, what are we talking about? What can you expect to get out of a rifle like that?
The National Match AR-15s that we bought for the junior program were Rock Rivers, standard off-the-shelf Rock Rivers, and 10-shot 100-yard groups would run in the 6 to 7/10 of an inch range.
Wow, okay? Stock.
Yes.
See, that would have been an out of reach for a bolt gun 25 years ago. Would be unheard of.
Now, if you really build an AR-15, go get the barrel go get a premium barrel, okay, like a Krieger barrel. Now, that's going to set you back a bunch of money.
Okay.
Have it built by somebody who understands the balance between the size of the gas port and, the putting everything together.
Right.
Okay. You have rifles that will shoot sub half minute, and we shot them service rifle shooting 600 yards, and they are super good shooting guns.
Isn't that amazing? It really is. It's I think even a lot of gun people, certainly a lot of the anti-gun people don't understand that, but even a lot of gun people don't understand that.
I'll put it in a little bit of focus. How about people shooting 500 out of a possible 500 score, or 800 out of a possible 800 score, okay, using AR-15, shooting at 200, 300, and 600 yards, standing, sitting, and prone, okay?
Basically, it shoots perfectly.
Nah, I don't know about that. These are some talented guys.
You actually have to have a shooter?
Yeah, you could hand me the same gun and, the bullet will go where it's pointed.
Yeah, that's the good news and the bad news. That's always been my falling and down is where you're, well, why'd it go over there? Well, that's where you had it pointed when you pulled the trigger. Oh, yeah, that thing. So I tell you what, take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do the What Have You Been Shooting Recently drill, all right? So don't go far.
The next big thing for the AR-15 has arrived. The Brownells Brn 180 Upper, a modernized version of the Armalite AR-180, featuring a 16-inch barrel, a 223 wild chamber, and a full-length pick rail. The Brn 180 skips the buffer system to allow complete function of the firearm with the stock folded or extended. Best of all, the Brownells Brn 180 mounts to any mil-spec AR lower. Visit Brownells.com today.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway for a chance to win a Kimber in September. Our grand prize winner receives the Kimber Evo SP Custom Shop 9mm handgun, a collaborative design between engineers and gunsmiths, with stainless steel slide, G10 grips, True Glow Tritium Pro sights, and 2 7-round magazines. Enter now through September 27th at guntalk.com/win.
Okay, we're doing the What Have You Been Shooting, or at least what have you been playing with, because I've been tinkering with guns that I haven't shot, as Dan knows only too well. So, but Tom, you're up first. What you been doing? Any shooting, friend?
Well, can I tell you what I'm going to be able to shoot soon?
Oh, yes.
A friend of mine from back home in Michigan called me and was wondering when I'm going to come back up to stock the wood up at the cabin, and he says, I've got some new toys to play with.
Oh?
He's got a Browning 1919 A4 and a 308, which is a belt-fed.
Yep.
And he's also got an old World War II era motorcycle with a sidecar on it. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Wait. Okay, so now we've got the belt-fed machine gun on the motorcycle with a sidecar, and we're driving around the woods up in Michigan, right?
Well, the range, anyway.
You should see what the deer drive. It's only fair.
Man, now, are you going to have to supply ammo for this gun?
I imagine I'll kick in.
Yeah, because that's the problem with machine guns is I liken them to owning a Great Dane. It is the feeding of them that becomes the issue. So there is
and you're cleaning up brass versus... No, never mind.
This is true. Dan doesn't know anything about this.
Oh, no.
That is my machine gun pusher, if you will.
Oh, that's a boy.
Yeah, in one of my many jobs, I have an FFL with an SOT, so I'm a Class 3 dealer.
He's a Class 3 dealer,
and I'm sitting back laughing at this discussion.
Yeah. I mean, you have cool toys.
I have cool toys.
Yes, you do. So when I want to go play, now I will say what's interesting about this, I would offer, is that and I've shot a number of your guns, and some of them shoot really fast. But the one I like the most is the one that doesn't necessarily shoot the fastest. Is that MP40?
Absolutely.
Why is that? What is it about that gun? Everybody likes it.
And you're right. Literally everybody likes shooting that gun. There's the history factor, because every World War II European theater movie that you've ever seen.
You see MP40s in them.
MP40s. Right. So there's the history factor. Of course, the actors get it wrong, because it's way smoother than they show. And then there's the fact that it's a 9mm that's relatively heavy with a kind of a slow cycle rate. And you can write your name with it. I mean,
There's essentially no recoil. It's just fun to shoot. Instead of going, it's kind of a pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, and
it's just fun.
It is literally my favorite machine gun, and I've shot almost all of them.
Yeah. Now, okay, question for the machine gun dealer. If somebody says, okay, I could do that, what's somebody going to have to pay in the marketplace today for a transferable MP40?
Okay. You've got two types. Okay. You've got the first type we'll talk about is a tube gun, which is a modern-made receiver with a, shall we say, recycled parts kit on it. Okay, so all the other parts except the receiver are World War II vintage. Those run somewhere between $12,000 and $14,000 at retail. Mm-hmm. You might do a little better. And then you have a CNR gun, Curio and Relic. Mm-hmm. And those, it will depend. Are they original finish? Are they all matching numbers? Germans were a real freak for numbering every single part.
They put numbers on everything.
Everything. And if you end up with one that's completely matching original finish, you may pay in the mid-20s. You may pay more than that.
Because that's collectible at that point.
Absolutely. If it is not all matching, I mean, I know where one is right now for about $18,000 retail. So,
can I get a better deal on two of those, Dan? Volume discount,
Yeah, and they're expensive. There's just no getting around it. That's a lot of money. At the same time, I know people they don't put money in the stock market. They put their money into machine guns. If you buy them right, well, first of all, I guess we ought to explain. You can't buy anything that was made after 1986, right?
That is correct.
Yep.
And for the CNR guns, mm-hmm. you can't buy one that was not registered before November 30th, 1968.
Ooh.
Because the amnesty for World War II guns ran out in 1968.
Do you have any idea? I mean, I keep hearing people say, well, there are still a lot of those old machine guns in closets that people have that are not registered.
And unfortunately there are. And as a lawyer, and I handle estates, and people know I do gun stuff, right? I get called, there's XYZ in this estate, can you help me with it, And if you can't find the paperwork, ATF's filing is horrendous. Sometimes they can't find paperwork that you're holding in your hand. Huh. But honestly, I bought an MP40, a nice, completely matching MP40 out of an estate in Iowa, and it ended up not being in the registry, and we had to take the parts off of it and cut the receiver up.
Really?
Yeah, we turned the receiver into. I know, and it's a shame because these
sacrilege.
things, the history with them is amazing, and it's just lost.
Right, you're required to destroy it.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. The only way you can maybe get around it is to donate it to a sheriff's office and have them loan it to a museum, like the D-Day Museum or something like that, on like permanent loan.
Right.
But it's registered to the sheriff's office, because they can have contraband guns.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. Wow. Interesting. So, Jim, I know you're busy. Have you had time to do any gun stuff recently?
I haven't done a bunch of gun stuff. I've been doing studio stuff still. And I expect Dan to call me when he has that $200 MG42, my favorite machine gun of all time. When he comes across one of those for $200-300.
I don't know about a $200 one, but I think he probably has one.
I'm sure.
What do you say?
I just sold one.
You sold one?
Yeah, I just sold one, and you could buy a luxury car for the cost of one of those.
Oh, sure.
They are really, what are we talking, 40 and up?
I sold it for $55,000.
Yeah.
Holy
wow. Can you go any lower? How about $55,000?
Yeah, that's right.
I had a lot of spare parts for it because, of course, if you own a 75-year-old gun, you tend to acquire spare parts.
Multiple barrels.
That would be a good idea.
I sold a dozen barrels with it.
Wow. That is really something. And that's a world that people don't even know exists. If you're not in it, you don't even know what's happening out there.
That's what kept Germans in the war, in my opinion.
Oh, it's an amazing gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a very fast cyclic rate, doesn't it?
Around 1,200 to 1,300 rounds per minute. Now, this is 8mm Mauser that retail goes for about 70 cents a piece. So you can well imagine that it is sort of hungry.
I'm telling you, it's a Great Dane. They just eat everything, right?
Here comes my mortgage payment.
That's right.
I let my 17-year-old nephew shoot one day, and I had taught him how to, shoot controlled bursts and everything. Well, he gets on this MG42 and he runs a 50-round belt. Zip.
$45.
And fortunately, I had the camera still running. You can hear him put the safety on, and he turns toward the camera and he says, "I like that."
Yeah. Understatement of the year, right? Oh, man. All right, tell you what, quick break. When we come back, I'll tell you what I've been tinkering with in the gun world, and having a bunch of fun here at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. We'll be right back.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Battle Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join, or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Hey, we're back. We're actually doing a break. Take a quick break. Alan Gottlieb came in, and he was heading out the door. Everybody's leaving. I think when we leave here, it'll be like a ghost town out there. When we've had, I don't know, they had 1,100, 1,200 people here for the Gun Rights Policy Conference. It was crazy. It was people, standing room only, a lot of places. It's just amazing. But, since it's your first time here, I always tell people, you won't believe the stack of books you get. It was cool.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to haul them home, because it's every book on gun rights written in the last who knows how long.
Yeah, and they're free.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, by the way, the whole thing is free. It doesn't cost you anything to attend. I mean, you got to get here.
And look, 2 nights of rooms here was, plus whatever, coffee and everything that I added on, was under $300.
Right. We don't pick expensive places. So, yeah. So we just heard next year, third weekend in September in Orlando. I think you said it's the 19th?
18, 19, 20.
18, 19, 20 of next year, Orlando, GRPC. Okay, I said when we took a break, I was going to tell you what I've been tinkering with. Finally, Dan knows, I got my scopes in. I got them mounted, so I have 3 Ruger number 1s that need to be sighted in. Although I did bore sight them. That should be good enough, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay, good. Should be fine.
If you're a good hunter, you'll be able to get close enough that'll work.
You can get them to bayonet range, right? That would be kind of cool. Oh, I have to tell you, KJ in our office, right? Right. KJ's in Canada 2 weeks ago hunting elk and bear. I love the story. So he's up in this tree stand, hunting bear, and there's this little bear walking around out there. It's like, little black bear. And he's walking around. Bear kind of looks up at him, walks around, looks up at him. Bear looks up at him and starts climbing up the tree. He comes right up to KJ. KJ's just watching him come up this tree. He's like, he's a foot below his boot, right? And KJ leans over and goes, "Hey, bear." So this little bear just took off right. It's gone. Yes. The fun stuff you get to do when you're out there doing it. He also had a grizzly get between him and his truck, so that's
less fun.
That's a little bit more of an issue, yes. Less fun is good. I like that. But no, I've been putting the scopes on the Ruger number 1s. I got the 257 Roberts, the 257 Weatherby Magnum, and the 6.5 PRC. So with any luck at all, we're gonna get those out and we'll go get those sighted in. I'm gonna make Dan take some time off of work because you need to go shooting.
Oh, I do.
You do? You haven't shot in a day or two.
Well,
it's been longer than that now.
been a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah, I know you're going through withdrawal, right?
Just about.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So anyway, I've been. I also, what I haven't shot either is that lever action I got from you.
Yes.
Because a mutual friend of ours had this 4570. It's a crazy story. Had this 4570. Sells it to Dan. Dan was like, as soon as the guy walks out the door, he sends me a text. Hey, look what I just got. I went, you son of a gun, you. Tell him about the barrel length and what happened with that. That was interesting.
This was interesting.
Scared you.
So this is a Marlin 1895 guide gun in 4570. And typically those have a muzzle brake on the end, or the barrel's ported.
Right.
Okay. And it's a minimum length barrel, like 18 inches or something like that. And so he shows up, and it's had some custom work done. And
he had sent it to Skinner Sights, and they had put the sights on it, but also
they had taken
the barrel off to get rid of the porting, right?
To get rid of the porting.
Okay. So they cut back the barrel a bit.
So I get the gun, and I look at it, and it looks short. So I grab a tape measure really quickly and run it down the side of the barrel, and it's like 15 and a half inches. And I turned to the guy, and I said, look, we may have a problem here.
Yeah, explain why, what the federal law is.
Well, the federal law is if your rifle has a less than a 16-inch barrel, they treat it basically like you're possessing a machine gun, because it's got to be registered, and you have to pay a tax stamp for a $200 tax stamp.
So you may be holding an unregistered SBR.
Yes, short-barreled rifle.
Right.
So the way that the ATF actually measures is they want you to put a wooden dowel down the barrel to the bolt face, and then measure it at the muzzle. Okay, so I ran a cleaning rod down there and, put my thumb where it stopped and pulled it out
nervously
and ran the tape measure. It turned out to be 16.25 inches long. But I will tell you that I did measure it 3 times before I gave him that check.
So now this thing is resting in my house, and I have acquired a supply of Black Hills Ammo Honey Badger ammo in 4570. So that's our next thing to go out and have some fun with. So that's going to be a hoot.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't hurt your feelings to go shoot, huh?
No.
No, okay.
Not at all.
There you go. Oh, Jim, I did have people coming up to me at the GRPC here. One fella, they were asking about you. Well, no, actually, they were asking about Michelle, but they kind of mentioned you in passing.
You disavow any knowledge of me whatsoever?
No, but one guy really did want to know about the pickup truck. Says, are you... Because, your pickup truck is famous, man.
It is. The one that was buried there for a while?
Yeah, the one that was buried, yes.
Buried in the woods, yeah.
Do you still have this thing?
No, actually, that has gone to the great automotive graveyard in the sky. It was actually a Toyota 4x. But I do have a pickup that I plan on putting bed liner over the material over the entire vehicle.
The whole exterior of it?
Oh, yeah. Because where I'm at, in my driveway, got branches sticking out, and I'm always going through the woods anyway. So I figure, what the heck?
It's like, you don't have to worry about scratches when you got bed liner over the whole thing.
Right. And is it going to look hokey? Absolutely.
I knew a guy that did that to a new Toyota FJ Cruiser.
Oh.
And what was interesting about it was, at night, it's invisible. Yeah. There's no shine. It is flat as it can be. And you talk about a thing, it's like just a suggestion going through the night. Is all it is. It was really, so I'm not saying the guy shot anything. No, he didn't. but if you wanted to slip up on something at night, that's not a bad way. See, just a bonus for you.
Oh, great. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, look, thank you so much. Tom, appreciate you sitting in and helping us out today.
Oh, always a pleasure.
You had a tough day on the phone. You took, 2 calls?
It was brutal, man, brutal.
Well, we got everybody lined up here. It was no problem finding people. There's nobody shy here, is there?
No. We're not talking about guns.
Yeah, when they say come in and talk about guns or gun rights, done. The only problem is to get them to stop talking long enough to get the next person in. So we're working that.
Well, I had a big lesson today, actually, Tom.
Yes?
I'm going to start using the term I am a pro-rights person.
I like that. Instead of being pro-gun, I'm pro-rights.
It automatically puts them back on their heels.
That's right, because forces them, if they're opposite, then they're anti-rights.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Clever little verbal judo.
Yep.
There it is.
I have already actually used that.
Have you really?
Yeah, I'll let you read the email.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, sounds good. And I want to thank my good friend Dan Zelenka for joining us today. And basically, I just said, hey, guess what? You're going to get to work today. So Nope. Hey, we're talking about guns and gun rights, and that's what you do all day anyway.
If the radio wasn't on, we would be sitting here talking about the exact same thing.
We would be having the same conversation. It's exactly right.
Just without the headset. I'll keep checking the UPS every day for that MG42, Dan.
Hey, you got it, man. You just wait out there on the corner for it.
It'll be
That's
there.
right. You just keep checking, you know. And if it shows up, we don't know you.
Right. Thanks for working with us today, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
All right, everybody take care. Go out and do a little shooting. Remember, you are the first line in the Second Amendment fight. You are the first responders for your family. Go out and do some shooting. Take responsibility for yourself, but also take a little bit of responsibility for taking care of our rights. Thanks for joining us.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.